welcome on into the Fantasy Alarm Show. Name's Cooper.
No. Energy.
I was up till 2 a.m. watching football. Why do we have games on? What are games on in the middle of the night? Yeah, boo, Bender. What? So that game for you was in like the afternoon. I just can't believe, dude. I can't believe it. Here's the worst part of Bender. I just gotta say this. In the Kings Classic, I'm playing JJ Zachariason. All his guys are done. He's in first place. I'm in fourth in a 14-team league. And I'm like, okay, I got 2 guys left, need 16 points. Kenneth Walker and Cooper Kupp. And I'm like, this is so doable, man. This is so doable. Just 1 touchdown from either player. Dude, it was torture. I had to watch Zach Charbonnet just kind of plodding in. Cooper Kupp threw an interception. Cooper Kupp scored points and then threw an interception. They all went away.
Lost them.
It was such a bad game from them, and I still only lost by like 6 because like 16 points in full PPR is not that many for 2 players to get. Like not that hard. Shouldn't be this hard, but sure enough, dude, great game for me. Whatever, dude. How was everything for you yesterday?
Dude, I gotta tell you, in all honesty, and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here for Alarm Fantasy Football. I mean, so much to talk about. I'm flying high right now because the playbook absolutely crushed this past week. I got so many screenshots. I posted a couple of them. Shout out to the Kangas man who called up the show yesterday. He took down a GPP. I mean, the playbook was absolute fire. And when I pump out the watch list, the DFS watch list tonight, you guys will see what the optimal lineups were. But, I mean, we had everybody in there from Bo Nix to Jonathan Taylor to Rashee Rice to – I mean, the Pat Mahomes lineups that I posted as the example lineups, 180-plus on DraftKings, 160-plus on FanDuel. If you're playing single-entry GPP tournaments, like I've been telling you, like those lineups won.
Mm-hmm.
Those lineups cashed.
Judkins scored 3 touchdowns.
Judkins 3 touchdowns. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic from a DFS standpoint. From a betting standpoint, I took a couple of risks, right? I mean, shout out to your Patriots. Dude, it was the funniest thing because I'm sitting there during that game and I'm trying to contain myself during the first half. I am wigging out completely. I'm like, this is gonna hit. This is gonna happen. And I was like, I can't wait to get on the show with Coop on Tuesday. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. Yeah. And then the Patriots, they scored right before the half and they took the lead. And I'm like, okay, I'm in it still. We can get it. Then the Patriots come out in the second half and they score a touchdown again. And I'm like, I can still get a backdoor cover. I can still do it. Then Cam Ward.
What is he doing?
He fumbled it into the end zone. The Patriots scored. I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
So funny. I always watch football by myself, but my buddy came over. My buddy Meat Mansion, our pal, came over to watch the game with me, and he was just, dude. He was like, "Will you sit down, dude?" Like it's literally just me and him, and I'm standing in front of the TV, and he's like, I'm like, oh, sorry. I kept sitting down, and then eventually he stood up too, and we both just stood there for 2 hours straight, just standing there. I will say this. I went back to rewatch that game, Bender. Maybe a little bit of a bad beat for you, dude, because they did lose. I'm not sure if you even noticed. Because did you have the game on its own screen?
Of course, its own screen.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
They
Red
lost,
zone over here.
I didn't even realize during the game, but in the second we were rewatched, they lost Jeffrey Simmons and L'Jarius Sneed after like the first quarter. So it probably would have stayed a little closer. It probably would have. I'll give you that. But
I mean, it just totally unraveled.
I was texting you. I was like, nobody text me. I told the family room, I was like, nobody talk to me. Like, and then we opened up and we did all right. So we did good there. A lot of good there. There was, we'll get out of the way. There was some bad. Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne didn't. I don't know where they went. They didn't do their thing. I already mentioned Kenneth Walker. Matthew Golden, caught all 4 of his passes, but didn't get to the yardage I needed for my bet there, which is a shame because both the girls, Faith and Chan, they're anytime TDs hit. So
you guys don't understand what Coop and I go through sometimes with our producers over at SiriusXM. Y'all know Josh Wagner's like neck deep in the betting pool over at fantasyalarm.com, and he does all of our hockey bets and our baseball betting. So he's totally understandable. When Shan and Faith hit their prop bets from Friday's show, and Coop and I both missed ours because the Titans didn't cover it. What was yours? Was the
I was 48.5 yards for Matthew Golden.
for
So he
Matthew
caught
Golden.
all 4 of his targets, but he only had like 37.
The text came in.
Yeah,
It was
like,
hysterical.
I don't need this right now. I was like, it is in this industry. It is so funny because you have people obviously saying, "Dude, good call on this." I did get a really good one of those. Remember, I told you last week that I took my neighbor's phone and added Oronde Gadsden.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was like, "Dude, this guy's money." I was like, "I don't know if he's gonna do that every week, brother." So it's still a stash, but that one felt good because I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna add this guy to your team." 167 yards. That's not bad for a first game on my boy.
164. Why don't you pump the brakes a little bit there, buddy? It was only 164.
That's true. Only 164. Only the second most yards for a rookie tight end all time. Dude, but hey, you know what?
That was crazy. The worst uniforms in the world.
Oh my god, dude. Crazy. You gotta win. You can't, dude. Why would you wear those for I think they planned to wear those for this game because they expected to win it because they didn't think Daniel Jones was gonna be so good. Like, you can't bust out new uniforms in a game you lose, dude. Now you can never wear those again, right?
No, you definitely can't. Listen, I had the Colts plus 1.5 on that one. That was one of my winning bets. So when they started steamrolling the bananas in pajamas, it was just. They kept calling it mustard. I'm like, nobody eats French's mustard, announcers. Stop this crap. We all like spicy brown mustard. We all like Dijon, right? Nobody likes French's mustard unless you're 5 years old and you just have to put something on your stupid hot dog.
But I like Golden's, dude. The Golden's mustard.
Golden's mustard. That's Golden's. Come on, you got to get some Jew in you here on that. Golden's.
Yeah, so no Gouldens. Okay, there you go. So yeah, no those. I will say the Lions uniforms last night with the black on that. Now that is how you do it. That's how you do it. But hey, enough about that. This week's over, and we know you guys got questions in the chat. I see you guys popping in already. Let's jump in and just hit a couple waiver wire questions to start. Fred was in here very early. Fred and Mojo, both members here. Again, if you want to cut the line, get your questions answered early, either do a super chat or join and become a member. But Fred has one here for us. 12-team half PPR. Too early to drop Oronde Gadsden for Kyle Pitts as your sole tight end, isn't it? Hype is growing. Kyle Pitts has been very oddly safe. He only has one game with only 3 catches, at least 4 in every other game. I would like to, if possible, roster both Gadsden and Pitts. I'll just get this out of the way on Gadsden right now because a lot of people have been hitting me up. I had a bunch of Gadsden takes this summer when I'd go on people's shows and they would say, "What's your hottest take?" That was a name that I would often bring up. So I had a lot of people circling back to me and being like, "Dude, Gadsden wheels up." And in Dynasty, yeah, we're very excited. Like, I was rostering him pretty much everywhere. In Dynasty, I had him ranked very close to Harold Fannin. The problem we run into is that in any given week, when we go to rank the target pecking order for this team, he's probably still 4th, right? As of this moment, like, it's hard to predict him to get more targets than Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen. And yes, he got 9 targets this week, but Keenan Allen got 13. Ladd McConkey got 14. It was just one of those weeks, So his usage is great. He's out there running more routes than Keenan Allen. We love what Greg Roman does. We love what Andy Bischoff do. That's all great. To me, he's like a spot start until if one of Keenan Allen or McConkey goes down, it's wheels up. So I'm adding him. He's my top ad this week, but I can't just tell everybody, "Hey, yeah, drop Kyle Pitts, drop Travis Kelce, and it's Gadsden moving forward, and you're all set. And don't even think about it." It's not there yet, right, Howard? We're not quite there just yet.
We are not quite there yet, but he's great guy to have on your bench. Like, that was one of the things. If you look at what his snap share was and, in targets, it's against Miami. We all know everybody beats up Miami. And then it was against the Colts. I like the Colts defense. I do for sure, but they do rank 22nd in the league in DVOA against the tight end. So, it was a really nice, they just got Kenny Moore back. So all of a sudden their slot coverage was better. So it just kind of it opened things up nicely for Gadsden. But yeah, I'm not, because of those 3 wide receivers sitting in front of him, I'm not going bonkers over it. But if there is a soft tight end matchup coming up, and I haven't gone through their full schedule yet remaining,
yes,
to be able to weave him in, because the tight end position is so dog crap anyway. Like, I'm not saying you don't use him if you have like Trey McBride or like a high-end tight, like a Jake Ferguson. You don't use him in place of those guys. But if you're sitting there and you're like Kyle Pitts or Harold Fannin or Mason Taylor, like, yeah, man, weave in Gadsden.
Here's why we're stashing him. Right here. And you know me, Bender. If it was fully wheels up, I would be already victory lapping around the moon because he was in the yin and yang tight end article in July. On July 10th, we wrote about this guy, right? We were talking about him in Dynasty, but for redraft, we were writing about this guy. But here's why you stash him. Because in these games with the high volume, everybody's eating, and they have a lot of these games. Here's their playoff schedule. And in the week before, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans. Those games are games where they're going to have to throw the football. And at that stage, by that time, maybe you got an injury, and maybe it's just games where you're getting Justin Herbert throwing 60 times, man. So you got to get that guy stashed up. But I'm not dropping Pitts for him. I mean, Pitts is in a highly consolidated offense where he's a pretty key piece of it, and he's looked pretty good. So that's where we live on that, Fred. Mojo, why don't we just hit the tight ends real quick while we're talking?
Well, no. Let's clear the deck here just on the paid questions here. Let's give our subscribers their due because Mojo's in there. Kyle Murphy has a question a little later on that he just paid up for. Money talks, people. I'm not gonna lie. Money talks.
Great call. Okay, Mojo wants to know: would you use your waiver wire pickup on Kayshon Boutte or Tez Johnson in a standard league? I'll tell you one thing. Right now, Fred, no, actually, that's Mojo's question. I have a league where I have everybody on bye. Brian Thomas Jr., Devontae Adams, all sorts of guys on bye week. Marvin Harrison Jr. I know I need to add one, maybe even two wide receivers off the wire and put them directly in my lineup. I'm not using my number one waiver claim. I am just going to wait for waivers to clear, and I'll just figure it out then. So if you're talking about using your number one waiver claim right now, I actually wouldn't do that. I wouldn't use
I don't think he's saying that he's using his number one claim on it. Does Mojo have the number one?
I mean, I don't know. So I'm just saying hypothetically, because he didn't say what it is. I'm saying hypothetically, if you have the number one, I wouldn't use it on those players. If I'm going to pick up one of those guys, I probably would go with Tez Johnson this week. They're probably going to hold Chris Godwin out again. Mike Evans is out probably for the year. It's only a 1 week play because they have the bye the week after, and then Godwin. I imagine they hold Godwin out one more week before the bye. So I probably would go Tez Johnson in that situation in a standard league.
Yeah, definitely. And he is Mike Evans is out for the season. It's a broken collarbone that came in on top of that as well. I can pop this one up here right now from the super chat. Kyle Murphy wants to know full PPR trade offer. I love this offer. Rice and Scatabo for Jonathan Taylor. Now he's getting Jonathan Taylor. He comments on that a few moments later here. So this one here, I'll tell you what, this is like a phenomenal consolidation trade. If you're playing in like a 10 or a 12-man team league, you're like 6-0, 5-1. You're rocking it. Now JT still has his bye week still to come. So does Rice. So does Scatabo. So I'm not looking at it in that format there. What I'm looking at it is that if you're still sitting there making running back decisions, like, do I start Scatabo or do I start this guy? Then you do this trade. I love Rashee Rice, absolutely. But Jonathan Taylor is otherworldly right now. And, I mean, you can't make any argument against him. We talked about this in the preseason. You and I actually talked about this. Imagine, when we said, we're like, imagine if the RPO work with Daniel Jones, who's a better passer than Anthony Richardson, how that would open up the running lanes. So I'm into this deal here. I definitely am into it.
Are you ready for this? He elaborated later that he actually already made a trade to get Jahmyr Gibbs, and he drafted Bijan. So if he does this trade, he would have Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Dude, I don't even care who your wide receivers are. You don't even have to start wide receivers. Like, just do that.
Where's that picture of Randy Marsh, right? With like all the fucking all over the place there. Like that is you making this trade right now. Do
whatever you have to get that. You could just pick up the rest of the team off the waiver wire.
God. Bijan is playing Miami this week.
Yeah.
Come on.
You do whatever it takes to get that.
Kyle Murphy.
Way to go, Kyle. Way to go. Rod Elliott, pick up Tampa or Atlanta D for the week. Now, I haven't done my full rankings for D for this week. Let me just pull up my
I just want to see the schedule here right now because, I mean, this should be interesting. I'm wondering if Kirk Cousins gets play here for Atlanta. Not that that has anything to do with their defense, but so it's Atlanta at San Francisco. It is Tampa Bay. And oh no, that's this week. Jesus, Bender. Get onto the
Yeah, it's Tampa or Atlanta. I mean, I will have my full rankings up today. I do like the players on Atlanta, but they got the 49ers.
No. Atlanta is hosting Miami this week.
Oh, is
and
it?
then you've got
I'm looking at
New
the wrong
Orleans,
one.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
Oh, then good. Definitely go Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta, like they got Jesse Bates. They got some good players, man.
Yeah. Home game against one of the absolute worst teams. I mean, listen, I think that I'll probably take Miami plus the points just because everybody's so down on Miami in that realm. But yeah, I like the players. I do. I like the players on Atlanta. I like the secondary.
Miami might be without Waddle and Waller for that game.
Oh, they're definitely without Waller. I mean, what's going on with Waller here? Did he left the team, didn't he?
Well, he bounced.
I think there's something going on with Darren Waller. I only like half heard it.
Well, he tore it. He
tore a pec.
He injured his pec. Yeah, so he didn't leave. He injured his pec, and they did Drew Rosenhaus is his agent. He basically said it's not a tear, so he's going to be back, but it's week to week, so he's not going to play this week. That's basically what they said. Is that not season ending? He will be back, but whenever they say week to week, you assume that player's not going to play this week. So
Atlanta,
I moved Waller down. Yeah, Waller's it's crazy. It's like freak injury of all the injuries. This guy, all the hamstring stuff for this guy. I would not have expected that, but hey, where she goes. So there you go. Go with Atlanta's D. Trade question in Dynasty for Rod. I give up Jefferson. I get London and Chase Brown. In Dynasty, it's so tough to trade away Justin Jefferson, man.
I get London and Chase Brown. No.
Jefferson is so young and so good. He's just you can't trade Jefferson unless you get like a king's ransom type deal.
No.
Rod has a couple more here, and then we'll jump in and hit the general ones here.
Yep.
Thoughts on Devin Neal? Yeah, we're going to talk about Devin Neal today. Absolutely. So stick with that one. But Kendre Miller out for the season for those that didn't see. So yeah, Devin Neal's got to be a stash given what we know.
Have you seen Kamara? It's terrible.
He's having a hard time. They're not throwing him the ball either. It's just it's a rough look. Drop Fields for Jackson Dart. Got Lamar, but will he play? I mean, I think I would at this stage.
I would definitely do this. Yeah, drop Fields.
I can't believe Jackson Dart is still out there in like 50% of leagues, dude.
Right?
Are people not paying attention? So Mojo is saying use the number one. Hey man, I would let waivers clear, bro, and then just piece it together. It's not worth it, dude, because this isn't a good week. It's a 1 week spot start for you. I'm doing the same thing. And I got guys. I have a like must win matchup where I have to put people in. I just can't use my number one claim on that. So
yeah, you got to use your number one waiver claim on a game breaker, right? And I don't think either one of those guys is a game breaker. They're good, but they're not game breakers.
I need somebody that. My rule of thumb is that like I need somebody I can start for a minimum of 4 games. So if this like the starting running back goes out and they put him on IR, which means he misses 4 games no matter what, and I know the backup's going to start for me, I'll do that. If it's a wide receiver I think is going to be locked in for at least 4 weeks or half the season or whatever, I'll do it. But I need to get multiple games out of my number one overall waiver claim. Simple as that. So and those guys definitely like Tez Johnson. He had a cool spin move, hurdle and spin move. Okay, I don't want to sell him short, hurdle and spin move. But Godwin will probably be back after the bye.
Did you hear, by the way, when Tez Johnson caught his touchdown? Not this past game, but the game before that, and the whole crowd starts chanting MVP, MVP during the post-game interview. He thought that was they were chanting for him. And he was he's like flying high. He was like, "Oh, these guys love me."
Tez. Yeah, I love that, dude. All right, top of the chat. We're back up to the top. Brian says, "Happy Tuesday, Fantasy Alarm family. Patriots D went off for me. Now I'm 6-1, dude. Awesome, man. Patriots D. I mean, Cam Ward with a big help on the old heave ho on that one, but We'll take it. A happy Tuesday. I'm looking to dump some dead weight PPR. I have Kittle and Waller. Waller is hurt now. Should I drop him for Gadsden? Yeah, I don't think that's crazy, man. Waller is closer to yeah.
I'm fine dropping him.
I'm fine dropping him. Yeah, I mean, because he's going to miss multiple games, and Kittle doesn't have his bye week. I think until like 14. So you're just going to start Kittle this whole time anyway. So I would do that. Monangai or Davis or both. I could drop Emmanuel Wilson too. I don't have Jacobs. Yeah, you can drop Emmanuel Wilson for Monangai. I have Monangai over Isaiah Davis. Monangai is a top ad for me, and it's painful for me to say that because I just traded for DeAndre Swift, but Monangai's usage has been going up. Not only is his usage going up naturally, but Swift has the groin issue, and who knows, maybe he'll miss time with that. So Monangai is probably the guy right now, and you can drop Emmanuel Wilson. So definitely do that. Here we go. We can start putting him on the screen now. Tracy, Brashad Smith, Blue Hill also on the wire. I actually just saw that Coop posted. Yeah, I posted my waiver article, so just read that one now. But I have all those guys ranked, and I do have Monangai as the top option right now. One dynasty question. So sorry, I keep hitting enter. All good. Tight end premium. Would you hang on to Jonathan Brooks or Joe Mixon?
No.
So just so you guys know, I think if you hit control and enter, you can skip a line without it going in. Because that's what everyone does. They hit enter to skip the line, and that's what happens. I'm so sorry. Would you hang on to Jonathan Brooks or Joe Mixon? I need to add backup QB. What do you think?
I'm out on both. I mean, it doesn't sound like Joe Mixon's even coming back this year. And, you're talking about, I mean, if you're looking at him for next year, I mean, will Houston, revamp their offensive line? What's he going to look like coming back from another, massive injury like this one? Because this injury has taken him basically a year and a half to get through it right now. And Brooks, I don't necessarily know if Brooks ever plays again. Like his knee was torn up.
Yeah, I gotta know who the guy is though, because Brooks is still only 22. It would be a shame to drop him and then have him because he was the best running back in the class. It would be a shame for him to come back and be himself, and then you miss out on like 5 years of a really good player. But you got my info, DWR. Hit me up and let me know the more details on this quarterback situation. What's up, Eddie? Greg wants to know, would you trade Sutton for Herbert and a second pick in Dynasty, Superflex Dynasty? I mean, yeah. What? Sutton, you're getting Herbert and a second in Superflex? How is that possible, dude?
I don't know, but I would do it.
We'll do that immediately.
And I love Cortland Sutton. I don't love him that much.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It should be Sutton and a first for Herbert in Superflex Dynasty. Like, you're getting a pick. AD Mitchell worth holding in tight end premium. AD Mitchell, man, he's like benched. He couldn't even play over Anthony Gould this week. So I would drop AD Mitchell before Jonathan Brooks. He needs to change the scenery, dude. Yeah. Appreciate you, brother. I just traded Mason and Jalen Warren for Kyron Williams and Wanda Robinson. How did I do?
Just traded Mason and Jalen Warren for Kyron Williams and I think you did pretty well, actually. It's a good trade.
Yeah, we're all up until everyone talking about being up until the middle of the night. Cesar Castillo, Judkins for Flowers and Shakir or Judkins for Olave. My wide receivers are MHJ, Judy, and Bourne. Bourne, an expiring asset there. I think Judkins for Olave is fair.
I think it's fair, yeah.
I think that's about as fair as it gets. Olave's getting a ton of targets. Judkins is the only show in town for a team that's not that good. I think that's pretty good. The Fans Classic, another tough loss. You got to be representing Fantasy Alarm, okay? No tough losses. We only want tough wins. Okay.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot, Luke.
Those 2 points. 0.2 points. You couldn't find 0.2 points, Luke? Wake up, dude.
Terrible.
Wake up.
I was commenting on Kyle's trade, which is just going to be amazing.
Hold on to Tajay Spears or drop for Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's kind of trending the wrong direction here. Brashad Smith got a bunch of targets while the game was still in play. And then in the third quarter, when they benched the starters, they really let Brashad Smith play a bunch, and he looked pretty good. I mean, I think Brashad Smith is making a case to play more.
Kareem Hunt also, he came off the field for a little bit with they helped him off the field for a little bit. He ended up, I think, tweaking his knee or something like that. So, yeah, I'd hold Spears at least in that realm there, or add Brashard Smith.
Yeah, keep Kendrick Bourne or drop him for Mims, Troy Franklin, or Leggett. That's kind of the crew there.
You got Broncos up against Dallas this week, my friend. So
if you're gonna start him,
and Purdy's coming back.
I'm still Troy Franklin over Marvin Mims. He plays more than Marvin Mims. He got more targets than Marvin Mims this week again. So if it's between those guys, I go Franklin. Xavier Leggett popped this week. Jalen Coker, we got to see how much he gets ramped up, but he virtually only played slot, which is not what we wanted to see. We wanted to see, even if he just played like a 50% snap share, but half of it was out wide, half of it was in the slot, it's easier to make an argument for him. The fact that he played virtually all his snaps in the slot just makes me feel like he's going to be just another Hunter Renfrow. So Leggett's interesting. He had a good game. And listen to this, Bender. Once Bryce Young went out of the game, only one player got more than 2 targets from Andy Dalton. Xavier Leggett caught 4 of 5 targets from the Red Rifle once that happened. So I'll tell you what, if this Bryce Young situation lingers at all, that's good news for Leggett, because it seems
high
like
ankle sprain.
Ankle sprain is going to be a problem.
Could be out like 3 weeks.
Yes, that's good news for Leggett. That's why I had Leggett in the waiver article, and I have him over Franklin and Mims for that reason, because when Dalton came in, he was dialed in. So, okay, why don't we take a quick second to hit on the wide receivers quick. So here's for me, I always start it. I go through, and here's the process. I go through, I update the RB questionnaire. I update the target totem pole. I look at all the snaps. I look at everything that's going on. And then before I even write any names down, I go over and I actually just look and see who's less than 50% roster. And I've got all the info in the back of my mind. That way it's like you start fresh and you're not writing the names down and then double checking, because you can miss names. And one name I probably would have missed that I think is probably the best available guy under 50% owned is Darnell Mooney right now.
Yeah.
This is a highly consolidated offense. Charlie Warner goes out there and plays a ton of snaps and does not touch the football. That means it's London, Bijan, Mooney, and Pitts. And especially for a 1-week start, Mooney's out there playing. He's played over 85% or more of the snaps in all 3 of the games he's been healthy. And he's the deep guy who gets the deep targets, right? So he gets the benefit of, so if it's a 1-week start, he could catch a 50-yard ball. So he's the top guy for me in terms of like starting and stashing and long-term. Ilikai Aminar is still more of a stash, but like he's playing a ton of snaps. Cam Ward is just terrible. I mean, like, and that's the problem there, is that like, if he had that role in any other offense, he'd be great. He's getting 5 targets every game. Cam Ward's just been so bad. So like, you're just stashing him, hoping that something happens. Xavier Leggett is my next best ad for Dalton. The streamers are guys like Mooney. Tez Johnson is a 1-week stream because he's got 1 game and then the bye, and we expect Godwin to be back 3 weeks from now. Alec Pierce is always on the radar. John Mpemba loves Alec Pierce, and again, if Josh Downs is out again with a concussion, Alec Pierce is even better. Mm-hmm. And then if Waddle's out, we're going to go Malik Washington. Will probably be higher in the rankings than he almost ever is, because he played a much bigger role this week. It was him and Nick Westbrook-Akine, and Malik Washington's the better player for fantasy than NWI. For stashes, we're still keeping an eye on Coker. Luther Burden and Torrey Horton have been guys we've been stashing this whole time because we like the talent. We just need them to play more. And then I liked what I saw out of Jalen Noel last night with Christian Kirk out. It's a rookie, so sometimes they see these games from these guys and they say, hey, you know what? You deserve to play more. So again, very deep league if it's going to be with something like that. Anybody else for wide receivers that I missed there, Bender? I know sometimes I do.
No, I don't think so. I mean, did you touch on the Washington Commanders? If Terry McLaurin and or Deebo Samuel still banged up?
Yeah, so Chris Moore is on the streaming radar, and then Jalen Lane got a ton of snaps there. Yeah. I know everybody wants Luke McCaffrey to be a thing, but he's the wide receiver 5 on that team. Like, he didn't play more this week. Jalen Lane played a ton though, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and that's something that everybody needs to take notice of, especially, given what McCaffrey's role is with the team. He's the kick returner.
Right.
And that, when you've got a young kid like that who's serving as the kick returner and the punt returner, coaches generally like to have them stay focused on that aspect of it. I mean, because kick returning is a huge aspect of the game right now. So they end up kind of limiting their snaps. I mean, what he put up a 0,
right.
This week for anybody who started him, while Chris Moore saw targets.
Right. And just think about the nature of these rotational players, right? Whenever they're in the game, a lot of the times these guys go out, and if they do catch like a 30-yard pass, then they come out of the game, right? It's like you get your look, you run around, and they say, okay, take a little breather, right? So every time you return a kick, he just comes over the sideline, and he's going to miss the first couple snaps every drive. That's another reason we don't like the running backs that return kicks, because like you're not going to have a guy return a kick and then immediately go out there for first down and take a handout. So same thing goes there. It's like you're just going to miss a big chunk of snaps doing that. So Jalen Lane and Chris Moore are the two guys there if push comes to shove. Let's jump back in the chat and see what's going on here. Chat, did we miss anybody? Let us know. Especially if you have questions here. Drop Waller for Hunter Henry. I think you got it, man. I mean, like, the thing with if you have to start someone, then you got to do that. If it's a bench stash, I would probably still hold on to Waller, because like the Dolphins are falling apart, man. Tyreek Hill's done. Waddle now is banged up. So when Waller comes back down the stretch, he could have a big role, but who knows when this guy's going to be back with a strained pec that's week to week. Don't like that. Fatty likes French's mustard vendor.
Of course you do, Fatty, right? I mean, come on. If there was anybody out there who would be like,
the chat actually loves the chat. See, French's has its place. It has its place. Definitely on like a burger with a little.
Who puts mustard on a burger?
McDonald's, dude, with like chopped up onions.
Not in the New York area, my friend. Not in the New York area.
I'm in on that, dude. I'm in on that. But they're better mustards. You know what mustard I make it at myself is the mustard you get from Chinese food, the Coleman's. The Coleman super spicy mustard.
Oh yeah. See, I don't need my mustard that spicy.
I rock that. I rock all types of mustard. I don't really discriminate.
I do. I discriminate against the bright yellow mustard.
My wide receivers are Nico, Rice, DK Jennings, Arby's Hall, White Monty. Would you trade DK for Jalen Warren, Scatabo, or Saquon? Probably Saquon, and probably also Scatabo, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're having,
probably do that.
Yeah, just
not Jalen Warren.
Not Warren, no. Josh Allen just hit waivers in my guillotine. Yes, I have the most fab by 300. Yeah, that's the kind of to pair with May. It's super flex. Yeah. Oh my goodness. If you can,
take the highest number that anybody has in their thing and add $1 to it, and just secure Josh Allen.
I've been telling people that all year that the guillotine is about striking on players that you think can be top 3 to 5 at their position in your lineup for the entire season. Too many people are just buying, because your start-sit questions are going to be crazy later. But Josh Allen will never be a question. So just get that. Yep. Who would you drop? Keon Coleman, Cooper Kupp, pick up Marvin Mims, Tez Johnson. And Cooper Kupp, they weren't even looking his way. There were times yesterday where he was open and they just they threw to JSN every single time. He had one target. Elijah Roy was just 5.
I do want to see Keon Coleman just after the bye. I still think that there's some positive stuff there. I don't want to be the guy who's just holding on by a thread here, but I think that you can swap out Cooper Kupp for either one of these guys.
Keon Coleman's still a better start and stash than Mims and Tez Johnson, right? If you're starting Tez Johnson this week, I would do that. I might even just hold Kupp over Mims. I've never been a Mims guy, dude. He's such a little gadgety weirdo. Helium, dude. Sorry we missed your question, bro. Sorry I missed you member question here, Helium. Stream Theo or Cade. I like Cade Otton this week as a streamer against the Saints. He's the number 1 streamer in my streamers article. Theo Johnson this is the gauntlet of terrible matchups. I looked at this earlier this year. I was like, wow, he's going to face the Eagles, the Broncos, the Eagles, and then the 49ers. And I know the 49ers lost Fred Warner, but that's not his matchup this week. His matchup is the Eagles. Eagles is the number 1 defense versus the tight ends, in my opinion, right now. And Theo is just a stash of anything. So Cade Otton is the play. After Kate Otten, I hate to say it, Bender, but you know who my other guy is after Kate Otten? Dalton Schultz.
9 for 98 last night, man. I mean, it was.
Dude, he's got like five. He's gotten like five catches, like 4 games in a row.
It was. It was a definite soft matchup. I mean, Seattle. I talked about this on the alarm show last night, and I said I'm going to build a DFS showdown lineup, and I'm going to use Dalton Schultz as my captain so that I can fit in like a bunch of these other guys.
You know who was in? Remember who was in our chat last week, pumping the tires on that, right? The King, Scott Engel, the King.
Scott Engel, right? He did say that. He said like, Dalton Schultz. That's right.
He's a Seahawks fan, so he's like, yeah, we're soft. Julian Love banged up, so love that call there. And I'll tell you what, Nico Collins got a concussion. Christian Kirk, as long as Christian Kirk is out, Dalton Schultz is on the table. But with Nico potentially out again this week, now we're talking like he could end up in like tier 3 or 4 of my weekly rankings just because volume alone. Not a particularly sexy player, but targets are targets. Should I trade Olave, Addison, and Waddle for Swift, Sutton, and either Kamara or Pittman? I'm gonna have to recuse myself from this question.
Should I trade Olave, Addison, and Waddle for Swift, Sutton, and yes. You want to make this trade for Swift, Sutton, and Pittman?
Yeah,
100%. I mean, yes, Monongai is starting to get a little bit of extra work here, but DeAndre Swift has just been, I'm not going to say a revelation, but what I've loved so much about Swift right now, and I just want to pull this up so I make sure that I've got the correct name, because they made a change over, Theo Benedict. Theo Benedict is the new left tackle for the Bears. And since he's been in and they've been running the outside zone scheme to the left side of the field, Swift has popped in a major way. And I think that that's something that you definitely need to pay attention to. Mononga is going to get work because Ben Johnson likes giving his primary guy, a little bit of a respite there, but he knows that this is not a Gibbs Montgomery sort of a situation. He prefers using Swift the way he's using him. So I love the usage there. Swift over Olave. Cortland Sutton, number 1 wide receiver against Addison, number 2 wide receiver. I like that move there. And Pittman, number 1 wide receiver over Waddle, who's, yes, a number 1 wide receiver on a garbage team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's banged up right now. This is a deal I would wholeheartedly make because I think Swift stays. Even if Mononga is getting a little bit of extra play right now, Swift is going to stay as a strong running back option. I had him in the playbook this past week because I was, I noticed the Theo Benedict move, and it really, it panned out well. Really.
And I'll tell you, I know you can't victory lap after 1 week, but I'm saying my straight up trade of trading Waddle away for Swift, and then Swift had like 140 yards from scrimmage and Waddle had 15. I felt pretty good about that one. Here we go. We got a couple super chats in here. Thank you, Matthew Lewis. Trade away Lamar for Odunze and Marv, hurting at wide receiver. Matthew, let us know who you plan to start at quarterback, because when it comes to those trades, that is everything for us. If you have another viable player, sometimes you just do that. Odunze is like a top 10. He's a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy football. And Marv is a hopeful outsider, we'll call him. Yeah. But if you're going to trade away a guy like Lamar, guys like Odunze are what you got to get back, right? So we don't necessarily don't like the trade. You name one viable quarterback and we get the thumbs up, okay? But if you come back and say you're going to start Spencer Rattler the rest of the year, I don't know if we can approve that one.
I don't even know if I could approve it if you say Sam Darnold. And I like what Sam Darnold's doing.
But if you say a top 15 or so quarterback, right? Like what if he's got like Jared Goff or something available?
Yeah, if he's got Goff, Bo Nix, Baker. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Like any
of those. Give us something,
guys.
Bro. Give us anything.
Feed us. Feed us.
False Prophet. Thank you, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting us, and we'll do our best to help you here. Being offered Gibbs, Kittle, and Sutton for Genty, Rashi Rice, and Tyler Warren. So another one of these where they're trading teams here. Jameer Gibbs is so good, dude. And
I'm really kind of concerned about what's going on in Las Vegas right now.
They're terrible.
I love Genty. I do from like an actual running back standpoint. But this is like Genty on the Raiders right now is like watching Saquon Barkley run for the Giants.
Yeah.
It's wasted talent there. So, I mean, listen, again, love Rashee Rice, love Tyler Warren. But could Warren and Kittle with Purdy back be a wash? Absolutely. And then Sutton and Rashee Rice, I mean, slight edge to Rashee Rice there, but Gibbs over Genty for sure. I would do it.
Yeah. Here we go. We got the follow-up, dude. I'll tell you right now. Matthew approved that deal for sure. Start Dart for 1 week. You have Dart and Stafford and Lamar.
And Stafford, trade Lamar.
You got the yin yang. He's got yin yang QB and Lamar, dude. That's a great trade, dude. Do what you got to do. Get a Dunze. He's great. Yeah, Maron. Okay, where are we at here?
Maron. You're like a sitcom character who just learned Italian. Maron.
Oh.
Hey, yo.
What's that guy, Andrew Dice Clay? Oh, hey.
Little Miss Muffet sat on a Duffet, right?
Oh, hey.
Come on, dude. That was big in the 80s, man. That was huge in the 80s.
No doubt about it, dude. Okay, where are we at here?
I don't know. I'm lost.
Last question was Scaife. I can't find him, though. Impem is so good at that. Jake Scaffa was the last question. Thoughts on Devin Neal? Yes, Devin Neal is a good stash. Good time to hit on running backs real quick. Number one guy for us is going to be Kyle Monangai. We're still in – Bam Knight is out there in a bunch of leagues. Again, Trey Benson's going to be back soon. They're on a bye. So don't go out and spend a bunch of money on either Monangai or Bam Knight or any of these other guys. But those are probably the best options right now. In terms of streamers, right, if you're just looking for a 1 week play, two easy ones that are out there. Tajay Spears, under 30% of leagues. He's a PPR guy, and they're going up against Indy, and that spread, Howard, the line I saw was like 14.5 or like 14.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's the Titans. So it's Titans against the Colts. So Spears is going to get a decent number of pass snaps. Now, if you're in a half PPR or standard, Tyler Algier, in positive game scripts, he plays a ton, and they got the Panthers, and they're favored by 7 in that one. So, couple good options. Or is it Panthers or is it Dolphins? Why am I thinking who are the Falcons playing this week?
Falcons are playing the Dolphins.
Yes, Dolphins. Same thing. Dolphins, Panthers. They're favored by 7. They're favored by over 7. So Tyler Algier, those are your streamers. Stashes, we're still stashing Isaiah Davis. Devin Neal is on the radar because Kendre Miller was playing a ton. Now he's hurt. They played Alvin Kamara a ton this week, but I imagine they're going to get Devin Neal ramped up, and he's going to be in that Kendre Miller role.
Point of order. I mean, I got to listen. I know Kellen Moore's offense. I love Kellen Moore's offense. I've been talking about this. I told everybody, you go back to the Fantasy Alarm draft guide, Alvin Kamara is in my busts article, right? Like, you want receipts? I got receipts for you. It's a square peg in a round hole. And they tried to make Kamara a little bit more of a power runner early on in the season while he was fresh. He's beaten up now. He's tired. He's a pass catcher. He is like 2024's version of Austin Eckler. And Kellen Moore doesn't throw to the running backs. Like that's a thing. Can't put that back in the bottle. Yes, you can. And
let's just say he's on pace for 70 targets. So
he's on pace for 70 targets, but even you admitted that those targets aren't even like it's not design plays. They're just like panic checkdowns from Spencer Rattler. If Devin Neal, listen, I'm not saying that Devin Neal is the be all end all, but what I'm saying is that Devin Neal will be there at the goal line if they need it, and Devin Neal will be utilized as a power runner because that is what Kellen Moore ultimately wants to do. He wants to do power run to have that set up, all the passing work for Olave and Shaheed downfield. Kamara just doesn't fit that scheme. Listen, I'm not hating on Alvin Kamara. He's had an amazing career, but it just doesn't fit with this offensive scheme. Devin Neal fits in this offensive scheme. And I'll tell you what, I've got Devin Neal in a ton of best ball this year. And I am feeling a little movement down south of the equator, thinking about it.
When you were drafting Kamara RB 16 or so, you were hoping he would be better than RB 22. through seven weeks here. So Kamara for me, definitely a guy that full PPR, you probably just throw him in there, but definitely there's people that are still out there trading for him on name value, and I think he's definitely a guy you can trade away here. And Devin Neal's a guy you got to add because they're definitely going to use two backs. It's what they want to do. So, and this crazy people that were saying that the Kendrick Miller thing might help Kamara. You know what helped Kamara? Him getting traded. And the Kendrick Miller injury makes it less likely he's going to get traded. This might actually be a net bad thing for Kamara, right? I mean, they'll probably just replace Miller's snaps with Neal, and then he won't get traded. So not great. Brashard Smith is another guy we're stashing. He looked good catching the football this week. He got a lot of his work in garbage time, but he looked good in the garbage time. So definitely get him stashed up where you can. And then classic guys, handcuffs, Blake Corum, DJ Giddens, those type guys we're keeping around. Let me just double check to make sure we don't have any more member questions. Nope. Good there. All right, let's jump back in the chat and see what people got popping. Back into the chat. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Cooper Kupp threw that interception. Crazy. Also hurt me and mine. Hey,
who are you looking for? You're looking for Jim Remedy.
Yeah. Shout out to, was that one?
What?
Is that the next question?
With Nico on a bye, should I pick up Shakir, have Debo? Yeah, that's the next one, right? You said you were Jake Scaffa was the last one, right?
No, we did. Oh, wait, where are we? Jake Scaffa has two questions then, I guess. Because he had one earlier than that. We are at, oh, no, you're right. No, that's correct.
Yeah, I am correct. Yes.
No, we did that one already.
Did we?
No, I guess we didn't.
No.
With Nico on bye, should I pick up Shakir, have Debo, Rashee Rice, Wandale Keenan? If you have to drop one of those players you just named, then don't do that. Don't do it. You're right. That was the right spot. I think I skipped down a little bit then. Should I drop Golden and Downs to pick up Mooney, Otten, Schultz? Have Mason Taylor. What'd you do there?
I'm sorry. What was that? Should I drop Golden and Downs and pick up Mooney and Otten and Schultz? I would keep Golden. I would drop Downs and I would add Mooney.
Yep. And then you'd probably just still start Mason Taylor because Otten and Schultz, Otten's a 1 week play for you. You're going to drop him when he has his bye. Yep. He was in the yin and yang, brother. We're good about that. Howard's handles misspelled rot buzz guy.
I just fixed it.
Screamer tight end, have Fannin drop for Gadsden. No, I'm still holding Fannin for now because he's closer to the sun. He's closer to being a top target on his team. I'm holding Fannin until at least November 4th because that's the trade deadline. If Njoku doesn't get traded, then we're probably going elsewhere. But if Njoku gets traded, Fannin is now a locked-in guy, probably rest of the year, honestly, given what they do over there. I have Ingram. Do I try to ride with Gadsden wave? No, stick with Ingram. Ingram has 4 straight weeks with 6 targets. Finally got up to a 67% route participation.
He just hasn't been healthy to start the season.
Right. This week, Bender, he played 46 snaps and 40 of them were pass plays. Defensive coordinators are sitting there saying, if number one's in the game, it's a pass. So just keep that in mind with Ingram. They very specific on what they're doing there. Rondé Gadsden was claimed by 7 teams in the stacked league. Wow, win for 29 for Boone. Yeah, the stacked league, that's the league that I traded Waddle for DeAndre Swift in. But I think I still lost in that league because Bob Harris has I needed Sam Darnold to score 55 points to win last night. Let's put it that way. Barkley, Olave, Diggs for Javonte Flowers and Kittle.
No. I mean, if you're getting the Barkley side, sure. But I'm not doing that trade the other way.
Cut Evans in a PPR. Pick up Tez, Alec Pierce, and Mooney also available. You might have to cut Evans for Mooney, but only do it if you're starting Mooney. Like Evans is probably done, but he's done for the fantasy football season. You cut Evans and pick up.
Yeah.
Judkins for Flowers and Shakir or Judkins for Olave.
We got that one already, right? Yeah, Judkins for Olave is the one that I would do. Flowers and Shakir, I'm not interested in.
Yeah, I think I ended up going to one of these. I think what happened is we went to one of the super chats and then just started going from there. My mistake. So sorry about that. Do we hear anything on Jaden Daniels? MRIs were positive, but no confirmation for sure that he's good. So I haven't heard any update yet, but I am hopeful. Would you willing to give up and take a chance on Ayuk? I would definitely take a chance on Ayuk. Depends who you're dropping, Big Bando.
Yeah.
If you have an IR spot, that's automatic. I've had him in an IR spot in one league where it's like for some reason they gave us 4 IR spots, so he's just been in there all year for me. Oh yeah, okay. So this is where I skipped us to. Henry's going to be blocking a lot this week against Cleveland. Probably. His pass block rate's usually around 10%. Could be closer to 15 this week. Yes, Waddle soft, like Bender said. He did say that.
I did, didn't I?
See, the people defending the mustards on the burgers and the mayo. I'm with you on that. I do like that. Barkley, Olave, and Diggs. We did that. We did that one. Have Andrews and Mason Taylor as tight end. Should I drop either to pick up Gadsden? This is the world we live in, Bender.
This is the world that we live in. I mean,
can't drop Andrews coming out of the bye with Lamar Jackson back. I got to see one more game.
Yeah, I got to see one more game too. And and Mason Taylor, if Tyrod Taylor is there, I mean, it's going to be some garbage time. You know what? I might just drop Mason Taylor for Gadsden if you're just stashing because you want to see what happens with Andrews and Lamar. Yeah.
I moved Gadsden ahead, man. I moved Gadsden ahead because Taylor, like Garrett Wilson's gonna be back. Josh Reynolds got 9 targets this week, and the Jets they're struggling right now. So
you shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Yeah, I mean, I said it very nicely. I could have said a lot of other
things. Kangas trying to troll me on Twitter about like how I always like rip on Cleveland, I rip on the Browns, and he starts coming at me. He's like saying stuff about the Jets. I was like, dude, when did I ever say that the Jets were a good team? Like never. Never.
Frankel and Kangas, man, those guys. I love them. And that's the thing with friends is that friends are mean to each other, but they are so mean. They're very mean. Kangas is the champ this week, so he can be mean all he wants. Time to drop Kyler. I would not drop him for Flacco, but I might drop him for Dart. I mean, he hasn't looked good, and Dart is running all over the place. So yeah, Hurts and Dart, you'll be just fine. I'll just hit on quarterback real quick since we're getting tight on time here. For me, for quarterback, Jackson Dart remains the top ad if he's available. If he's available in your leagues, you got to just start playing with tougher competition because he shouldn't be available in 50% of leagues, but he is. Flacco is not a crazy ad considering he figured out you can just throw to Jamar Chase every single play, and that's a good strategy. So that's on the table.
We also you also have to take into consideration here. I believe Sauce Gardner left this game last week hurt with a concussion, so he could miss this game. And wow, dude, that was like a mosquito that could carry off a baby.
Yeah, it came right in front of the thing here. So
coming in to attack you. That was like something out of like Jurassic Park. Just
I'm telling you, the mosquitoes living longer than normal this year. I just heard the report of the first mosquito sighting in Iceland. So they got mosquitoes in Iceland for the first time ever. So that's gotta be careful out there, folks.
Yeah.
Got him.
Flacco against the Jets, I could definitely get involved with for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So
if Cousins is starting against Miami,
yeah, is Michael Penix? Is he hurt or what's going on with that?
Yeah, he's got a bone bruise in his foot.
Yeah. So yeah, either Penix or Cousins are the option there for Miami. Spencer Rattler also quietly has double-digit. I couldn't believe it. I had to double check like all my leagues to make sure it wasn't just weird scoring, but he's got double-digit points in every game this year. Like he's got such a weird combination of huck it, chuck it football and scrambling that he has a decent floor, even though it looks terrible. So Rattler versus Tampa Bay isn't crazy. Stashes are still Dart and JJ McCarthy, right? Like there's not even really a good like mobile backup to even throw on a bench. I guess if you're in like the crazy deepest super flex league, then maybe like Malik Willis. You know, I'm trying to even think of like who would come in as a backup and start running. Willis, Anthony Richardson. I mean, like, there's not a lot of greats. Jalen Milroe, maybe. I don't even know. So Dart and McCarthy are closest to actually playing. Start all KC wide receivers. Yes, sir. Hold Fields, waiver wires, Rodgers, Flacco, Penix, Purdy. What do you think there, Bender?
I mean, again, I don't. There's something up with. I mean, listen, Fields got benched in the middle of that game,
Right.
and the Jets don't have a very tough schedule coming up. I guess if you're not starting Rodgers, Flacco, Penix, or Purdy this week, then I would just hold Fields and see what the situation is, because it is a good schedule for a running quarterback.
Right.
So if this is just backup, then don't.
If he's your starter, Purdy if he's playing, otherwise it's Flacco.
Yeah.
Don't trade Rice for a quarterback if those guys are on the wire.
No.
If there's guys like that on the wire, I'm not trading the guy that just came back in his first game and got a bunch of targets and scored 2 touchdowns. Thoughts on Worthy? I mean, he's now, to me, back where I kind of had him mentally for a long time. Like I put he's in the category of Jordan Addison and Jameson Williams, where he's clearly not the top wide receiver. He runs high A-dot routes though, so in any given week he can do something crazy. He gets carries, so in any given week he can do something crazy. But they got a tight end that gets some targets, so that whole group of guys kind of lives right there. And like the tier down from that is like Darnell Mooney. It's like, well, that's why we're interested in Mooney. Is that like, what's the difference between Mooney and some of these other guys? Maybe a couple carries. So go Worthy. If you can trade him, I probably would. Yeah.
No, I got too many other things to piss and moan about, Chris.
We make exceptions for weeks like this when there's like 6 bye weeks. For start sits, we're a little more lenient on the trades and start sits because I know people are hurting.
Oh, I'm not lenient on the start sits. Don't ask me.
I am a little bit because the waiver adds at times. You can ask your waiver question. Like if you want to cheat the system, I don't want to give this away. If you want to cheat the system, just phrase your start sit question in the form of, hey, should I add this guy and start him this week? And then you'll get your question.
You want to add a start? You want to throw me a start sit question on a Tuesday or a Wednesday? There better be $1.99 behind it.
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rapid fire through as many. I'm gonna give you guys the option, the tight end, DST, and kickers that I like this week, and then we're gonna rapid fire as many non-start sit questions and get you guys out of here. All right.
All right.
Top adds at tight end: Gadsden, Mason Taylor, Colston Loveland. Cole Kmet has a back issue, so Loveland's back on the radar. Streamers are Cade Otton versus New Orleans. He has a bye after this, or Dalton Schultz this week versus San Francisco. Not as bad of a matchup now that Fred Warner's out. Stashes are Aronde Gadsden, Theo Johnson for when this nightmarish part of his schedule is over. He is technically second on the team in targets behind Wan'Dale Robinson. And then Elijah Arroyo in really deep leagues. He got 5 targets yesterday, looked a little bit better. He still rotates with A.J. Barner, but Cooper Kupp's not really much. Kickers, Tyler Loop with Lamar Jackson back on the table. If the Patriots are for real, then Andy Borregales. The most appealing thing for him is, well, 2 things, really. 1, he has a good schedule. 2, he doesn't have a bye week till 14. So if you want to just plug that guy in, you can do that. Colts DST was oddly available in a lot of leagues. So check if they're out there versus Tennessee. That's going to be a top-ranked option. The Ravens defense also is kind of back on the table with Roquan Smith back. He wears the green dot. They basically been playing without their quarterback on defense. They get Chicago this week, then they get Miami next week. So you could do worse than the Ravens if they're out there. All right, into the chat we go. Anything I missed on that? Any good streaming defenses?
No. I'm with you here, and here's where we are in the chat right now. Greg Martinez, drop Fields and pick up Flacco or the Red Rifle. I mean, if you need to start somebody, then you can drop. No, you know what? He's playing Cincinnati this week, so I would just hold Fields here if those are your options.
Yep. Knicks or Caleb?
Knicks or Caleb?
Rest of season. Probably Caleb right now.
I mean, Caleb's definitely more consistent, but Bo Nix, baby.
Yeah.
I like the kid running.
All right. Can't do this drop Field stuff. Drop him for either Rodgers, Penix, or Flacco. You have Stafford on bye. Yeah, I mean, like if Fields is going to be benched or whatever, then just start Flacco this week.
Yeah, there you go.
You hold on to Neal or Monangai. I'm going for Monangai because the Bears are a better team. And we've seen Ben Johnson have 2 fantasy relevant backs before with the Lions. And, Swift is going to be running all over being the Gibbs role. Then maybe Monangai can be the Dave Montgomery role. Tyler starts these games. Mason is going to get, actually, you know what? That's good news for Mason if that does happen. I don't know if I'll answer in football questions, but we are. I got offered Hampton and BTJ for Judkins and QJ.
I mean, I would stay with Judkins and QJ. These guys are playing right now. We don't know. We know that Hampton was, placed on IR. This is like week 2 of him being on IR. And they said that he was going to be out longer than the 4 games. So I would just stick with Judkins and QJ.
Yeah, we can tell, Chris. We can tell you tune in. We appreciate that.
It's my dog.
Yeah. Anybody that doesn't listen, 6 to 8 p.m. on Sirius XM channel 87. And if you have the app, you can listen to it whenever. Treat it like a podcast. It's fun stuff. Last question here from DJ Salu, and I'll tell you what, Travis Hunter was a buy low candidate for me last week. People probably aren't trading him now, but I was telling people, I was saying, hey, look, he didn't play in 2 wide receiver sets till week 5. He got his biggest snap share of the year in week 6. Week 7, he got an even bigger snap share and led the team in targets and receptions, and BTJ looks to be banged up a little bit. The buy low window on Travis Hunter is probably closed. If you can add him off waivers, he is easily the top ad for me, and I would use my number 1 priority on him. That's where we live on Travis Hunter. So that's how we're feeling today. That's it for all of us. If you want all this stuff in writing, guess what? It's over at fantasyalarm.com. There's 2 articles, one that's free for everybody. That's kind of just the best ads. And then there's the streamers and stashes article that's for members. That's the deeper one. All my rankings will be up tonight at every position, as always on Tuesdays. So we got you covered. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to be back 1 p.m. with our trades and DFS takes. And then on Thursday's when we get into those start sits. So adios, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Until then, for Andrew Cooper, for Howard Bender, for all the cats, for all the dogs in the world, we are out of here.
Adios, turd nuggets.
Perfecto.
I gotta fly because I gotta
beat it. Scram. I don't even want to talk to you anymore.
I gotta get the rankings up because I gotta go to the zoo tonight. We're doing a little quick zoo.
That's the best line from the movie Rocky. You've seen Rocky, right?
Of course.
Hey, Rock, take her to the zoo. I hear retards like the zoo.
That's Hey Rock, take it to the zoo. Yeah, I figured we were trying to plan this out. I was like 6 bye weeks this week. I should be able to get through the rankings in a reasonable amount of time. So we're gonna pop over.
See ya.